All right. What's up, everybody, and welcome back. We got another big WTL match. Serral, Reynor, Clem, ShowTime, Skillous, Cure, Basilisk against Team Liquid. And representing Basilisk and Big Esports, up here in the top right side, we have ShowTime, who is, of course, the allied member of that Basilisk team these days. And he is going to be up against Team Liquid's Skillous. One could argue the two underdogs of this match facing off against each other, and I gotta be honest, I think they're both rather happy about this match. If you're Skillous and you gotta play against someone like Serral or Reynor, probably not too happy. Likewise, at ShowTime, you're probably happy to not have to play PvT against Clem or Cure. This is, even though it's a mirror matchup, probably, I think, a very even match between the two of them. Either player could take it. ShowTime has been on a tear recently, looking really good in his games. Skillous not looking bad as well, moments of brilliance, but I don't know if anyone has nearly as much tournament consistency and experience as someone like ShowTime. So ShowTime is always someone to be watched out for. I'd say he comes in here as a small favorite because of that, but never discount young Nikita, the passion he's got for the game, and there's always more of a chance with a younger player for them to have a sudden leap in skill and performance, right? ShowTime is a little bit older. He's over 30 now, I believe. Just turned 30, I think. So he's at that point where it's rare to see a player suddenly just, have this massive gargantuan leap in skill. They'll still have ups and downs and improvements and so on, but Skill is still very young by comparison, in his early 20s, and a little bit more likely to maybe just suddenly have some eureka moment where he stitches something together with his tournament confidence. Now, of course, we already know the matches. So after this best of 2 match, I guess we should put a scoreboard down the bottom, right? But it's a best of 7, isn't it? Yeah, it's a best of 7, right? So basically, we have 2 matches between each pair of players, and at the end of that, if one side has the 4 points, then cool, they win. Otherwise, we go to the ace match, and it effectively becomes a best of 9, right? There's a single map to decide it, with one player from each team being resurrected on the fly. But for now, we know it's ShowTime versus Skillous. Next match is Reynor Clem. And drawing the short straw is Cure versus Serral in the 3rd match. However, not only am I excited just because Reynor Clem's always a bloody barn burner, but you've got Serral Cure. And Cure, I hate on his chances to beat Zergs always, but he's actually beat a few really good Zergs recently. And it feels like Cure may finally be putting to rest this period of his career where he's not able to beat them. But anyway, let's talk about the build orders. Shield Battery taking a bit of damage. ShowTime's micro has been good. He's going to pull back that weak sentry. You don't want to be losing any units here, man. That battery, a little bit late. What a pullback. Good pullbacks. Now the battery finishes, and he is okay to defend. Now, I actually quite like the way Skillous opens normally, with kind of a bit heavier on the Stalkers, straight into Blink, wants to play a very standard game. But ShowTime does the same thing. So this is just as mirrored as it gets. And you might be thinking, well, why aren't either player going for the gold base? The reason is, if they harass your gold, get position here and deny it, it's just way too brutal. Force fields can trap units there. In PvP, taking this gold base, it just gets wrecked by force field, adept harassment. And if you lose control of your natural mining, you're kind of screwed. So it makes sense that neither player is going for it yet. However, as a 3rd base, I think it makes a lot of sense. Why not go down there for a 3rd if you can maintain blink control? The problem is, because the 3rd is such a big high-risk, high-reward maneuver, it leans into most players wanting to play 4 or 5 gate blink, get very aggressive in their opponent's faces, and trying to get on top and deal with what they can. Pig, are you going to be casting the 2v2 tournament tomorrow? There's a 2v2 tournament? Oh, is there a battle? Oh, I know there's a Battle Aces tournament tomorrow. I know, is that a 2v2 tournament, or are we talking about StarCraft? And there's also a StarCraft 1 versus StarCraft 2 Evo tournament that Top is putting on, Killian, with a bunch of legends. So you need to let me know what tournament you're talking about. There's so many things going on. There's a StarCraft 2 TV2 tournament. I haven't heard about it. Definitely link it up in the chat, and I'll take a look at that after this game. Always cool to see StarCraft 2 events mixed in. Skillous wanted to do a little run by, but he gets spotted, so he has to back away. 4 Stalkers is the magic number, of course, to one-shot your opponent's Stalkers. Now, both sides are taking a 3rd base off just 2 gateways, but they've been non-stop warping in. Notice their Stalker sentry count's very high, because they know, hey, if we miss any production, the other guy might just kill me. So both sides are very cautious. Forge does go down for Skillous. I really thought we'd be seeing 4-gate blink and a gold base. This is so conservative, guys. Is this game not just the most European game ever? If Hero was in this game, his gold base would be mining on the outside from 3 minutes in, after faking a 1-base proxy oracle. Skillous and Showtime are like, no, the third base is more efficient. It is a risk to take the gold base. Who would ever take risks in warfare? That is crazy. Sometimes I do think the European players, you'd think they'd be a bit more into the military history, because there's a lot of gambling military commanders. You look at, not like all their moves were super safe, you know? There's, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, a hero obviously gambles too much, right? There's no way any general that fought like hero would have made it past his like second engagement without being removed from office, because there'd just be too many blunders that cost too many lives in the midst of it, where people would be like, you psychopath. Like, that's actually crazy. But I don't know. It's fun. It's fun to watch people who throw caution to the wind, isn't it? 4 more gateways on the way for Skillous. He's gone charged. 2 more gateways for Showtime. Looks like Showtime is a bit more willing to sit on Blink for a little bit longer in this game. He's going to break these rocks potentially. Almost identical worker counts. This is a proper gentleman's agreement. Both sides are playing reactive sentry. Only 1 sentry for Skillous. So I would argue Skillous is playing greedier, but I'd also say it's smarter. And the reason is he's playing Showtime. How often is Showtime going to do an all-in? It's Showtime, man. He's stable, he's solid. You know he's going to play safe. So why not cut some corners, skip on the sentries, be a bit greedier, and try to get away with it. Skillous will take his 4th on the gold base, while Showtime continuing to play as safe as possible. He's going to take his 4th here, and then eventually 5th on the outside of that gold base with the purple gas. Steps there. We have seen aggressive Showtime a little bit recently. It was still the Showtime flavor of aggression. Wasn't quite as crazy as Hero, you know. He gets himself a pro, but otherwise a very unexciting Adept run by. 4th Nexus on the way, Templar Archives as well. And an extra Nexus down on the gold base. If Showtime goes to the World Championship and just plays cannons and proxy gates. Yeah, that would be surprising. Sometimes, you know, sometimes there's like a random guy who's drunk in Twitch chat who just like makes a comment about what the players should do in a tournament, and it's actually spot on. And I'm totally with you there. He'd win so many maps. Oh, this is a good move for Skillous, guys. He's got a massive, massive Stalker advantage. And it's actually Showtime who's gone heavier into the Zealot Immortal right now, so he loses his 4th base. And now Skillous says, lol, 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 I have a gold base. Oh, he's going to blink across. He's going to blink across. Bring the sentries. Oh, he's not. Okay, he's just going to go for a small counterattack there. Just a bunch of Stalkers. Maybe pick off some pylons and stuff. He's got to be careful not to get trapped. You can blink down here or just like run to the left and blink that way. Picking off a few Zealots to get value out of this would be good. Okay, not the most exciting use of that by Skillous. You can tell Skillous is just focusing on his macro and clearing these buildings at the front. He didn't really micro those Stalkers, right? He's like, that's fine. I've got a 4th. I've got more pylons so I don't get supply blocked. I'm putting cannon battery behind this. And having the advantage Stalker count means you can chip at your opponent's Zealots and blink back, blink back, blink back. But as the Archons come in, and the Zealots and the Immortals, Showtime's army has way more raw damage. So if this game gets messy and the Zealots end up in all your bases, you can die, which is part of why the cannon battery's coming down. It's part of why Skillous is adding a lot of Zealots of his own. The problem I worry for Skillous is if he goes too heavy into Zealots and doesn't have Archons of his own, the enemy Archons are going to get crazy value. But look at this, big Zealot distraction with the Warp Prism, and he cancels the 4th again. Massive moves, recalls these Zealots that get trapped. This is huge. Look at the units lost tab. So few resources have been lost in this game. They've barely fought army versus army at all. But you've got a 4th base mining on the gold. You're mining 700, 800 minerals more a minute. Showtime stuck on 3 base. And whilst he's got a good quality army, he now is forced to take the gold base on the inside while not really having a dominant map position. Now, as I said, Skillous is not going Archons yet. His Zealots are going to suck. Once Showtime gets to 4 or 5 Archons, the Zealots of Skillous will be useful and relatively useless in frontal confrontations. Stalkers take out the Warp Prism there, guys. Managed to kill it with some Zealots inside. Very nice move. And Skillous is not making any moves towards transitioning. He's saying, no, mass Stalker, mass Zealot, and I'm just going to chip at you with Blink Micro. It's a really good way to play if you've got the momentum like this. And he does indeed have that momentum. Showtime chasing him right now. He gets 2 Stalkers for free. This is like, I feel like there's a bit of Showtime should be getting bullied by Skillous. Just looking at the armies, like I don't know why Skillous ran away there. I feel like Skillous should just be fighting the entire time and just blinking back, engaging, blinking back. I feel like for Skillous' style, you just want to be trading non-stop. Zealots are going to come in on the south. I mean, I like that move, but it's just he's not doing anything with his main army at the same time. I think Showtime is very calm and patient. If you don't up the chaos factor, oh my god, look at that. Beautiful force field. Traps like 8 Zealots there. And Skillous is starting to be very inefficient. He does get a prism there of Showtimes, which is nice since he already lost his prism. Remember, he's built a new warp prism. And here we go. Zealots are here on the front. The prism's just to that left side. It's kind of weird, though. No Disruptors coming out for Skillous. No Archon transition. He's taken a 5th base, but he's got to micro these Stalkers really well. It's all about the Stalker micro. Showtime's just going for it. Showtime going in there with the Zealots. Both sides are on +2 attack right now. The Archons and the Immortals are closing in right now. It's so many Zealots for Showtime. And remember, in a pitch fight, Zealots beat Stalkers. The only way Stalkers win, the mass Stalker style, is about shooting, pulling back, blink back, blink back, blink back, and just doing that over many minutes. Now a Robo Bay and a second Robo goes down, but this doesn't feel like it was planned. It feels like Skillous is like, oh, damn, these fights aren't going as well as I wanted, so I'm going to do that reactively. Showtime blinks forward, takes out the battery. Showtime demour. Looking like an absolutely turgid boy right now. He's looking solid, firm, and thick. I'm telling you, the vascularity of this Protoss force coming back into the game despite only just starting to mine his 4th against an almost 5-base Protoss opponent. It's a hard position to be in right now. Prism there. Okay, good pullback for Showtime. And this is, you don't want to fight those Immortals, man. Yeah, this is what I feel like with the Stalker Zealot side, you need to be on the other side, player's side of the map, attacking, picking off their units. You want a big pack of Stalkers kiting Zealots, but look at that. Showtime gets another Prism up there. The Adept goes down as well. And look at this. Showtime finds the gold base. He's got a good position here. He just needs to be careful not to get too surrounded on this low ground area, but he's going to deny the gold base. Stalkers warping on that left side. They can maybe fight with battery overcharge over there. Meanwhile, coming in from the right side is Skillous. Force fields keeping him back. It looks like Showtime's maybe thinking about clicking on the Nexus. I feel like he needs to get rid of these batteries up top if he wants to stay here. Otherwise, he needs to pull up to the high ground. And that's a good move. This is the safer move. Just bully that gold mineral line, which Skillous is bravely mining right now. Nice force fields do come in. It's pure Stalker Zealot. The first 2 Disruptors are about to come out for Skillous. I mean, Disruptors are just a nightmare for Showtime. They are such a nightmare. He's got the bigger army, but it's the Disruptor shots that will really punish him here. The Stalkers blink to the left there for Showtime. They do bully back Skillous. Skillous still hasn't used this battery. I'd like him to just almost fight with the Stalkers and battery overcharge and another Stalker warp in there. But look at that. Showtime blinks across the gap. And he says, come to Papa. You have to run away from the Zealots. You can't fight that front on. Disruptors have arrived, though. Disruptors have arrived. Watch out for that first Disruptor shot. It flies. Goes out a bit too early. Only gets a single Zealot. Archons in the back still looking pretty good for Showtime. Units lost time right now is 3,000 resources, or 2,500 more efficient for Showtime. Skillous, his Disruptor gets blinked on. It gets taken out. Another Disruptor is arriving on the front line. Stalkers trying to blink back. But Skillous's army just not having as much oomph to it. And the mass Stalkers style, it is not as good unless you micro exceptionally well. And Skillous has not been able to take the fights that he needed despite getting a big income advantage. A bit too slow to transition into Disruptors or to be more active with his Stalker Zealot. Hats off to Showtime, though. It's hard to be active with your Stalker Zealot when they keep killing your War Prism. And that is exactly what Showtime did in this game to start off this series. What a nice comeback for Showtime after losing his 4th base twice. His 3 Immortals, absolute slayers. 7 kills. Am I clicking on different Immortals right now? 7 kills. 7 kills. Okay, I kept trying to click on the Immortals for the kill counts there, guys, and I was like, am I misclicking? Nope, they all have 7 kills. It's a 21 kill trio there. Very nice game 1 for Showtime. Really good comeback. All right, was a little ahead in that game, but did let it slip away. Skillous in the top left side of the map. Love to see a bit more aggression, a bit more spice out of our young Nikita. Down here in the bottom right side, Showtime. Very nice comeback. Man loses a base. Doesn't panic, stays calm, tries to re-expand. It gets taken down. But he just stays solid, goes to the big Zealot, Immortal, Archon power units. And, you know, it's kind of funny because we just saw one of the best Protoss players in the world, Skillous, a legitimate top 25, some could argue top 15 player these days, not be able to use his Stalkers to get enough value. And this just reminds me of how hilarious it is to me when I see a Platinum player just making nothing but Blink Stalkers and being like, yeah, this is a good idea. And I'm like, mate, pro gamers screw this up. You think you're going to micro this unit to be good? Just make Zealot Immortal Archon. It's an A-move army that does its job. Even Showtime uses it. Come on, mate. It just has such better stats for its cost. Stalkers are all about using their range, their mobility with Blink, counterattacks and pulling back and hitting and not getting hit in return, you know. It's a very fancy unit. It's always funny to see just how fragile those Stalkers are if they do get pushed up against a wall and forced to stand and fight. Now, PvP on Oceanborn, man. I got to admit, guys, I'm a bit selfish. I'm kind of just waiting for Clem and Reynor to play because I haven't seen that in a while. You know, with Reynor being over in Korea, back in having him. Actually, this might have been played just before he headed back, because he only went back to Italy not long ago. So he might have actually. This might have. Yeah, that'd be interesting. I hope he was back in Europe for this match, because then it means they would have both been playing with no ping. But anyways, we'll talk about that in a little bit. Okay, nice block. Okay, so Showtime's going to go for the block. He probably is going to cancel that, especially because Skillous doesn't hide the sentry. Odd choice. Skillous not hiding the sentry. Interesting. Whereas you can see Showtime's hiding the Stalkers. Because the point of this pylon is often you want to cancel it, right? And he can cancel it because he's like, well, I already know what units you've gone. Whereas Skillous, he's like, do I have to let this finish? And he will. Which means, okay, sure, you delay the Nexus a few seconds longer, but now you lose the full pylon. You don't get the 75 minerals back. So that's the power of hiding your units there. Now, to be fair, sentries don't do much damage. So if he doesn't start attacking it straight away and Showtime lets the pylon finish, he's blocked for much longer, which is why he kind of has to attack it straight away there. Robo for Skillous first. Very safe play for him. I think he's maybe a little worried about the double Stalker. And he does see with his hallucination. Oh, okay, I'm not getting all in. It's all okay. It is just going to be a 4 Stalker pressure arriving at the front. He's only got 3 sentries. Ooh, Nexus can only tank so much. He's going to have to wait for an Immortal, maybe? I think the Immortal should get down here in time to save the Nexus. Nexus has like 1,000 hit points already. Shields will disappear. It's going to take a lot of damage. 4 Stalkers do a fair bit. Sentry's just going to try and distract him. Anytime he just wastes time, gets Showtime to not attack the Nexus, he buys time for that Immortal. If we lose this Nexus, we're just dead. If we lose this Nexus, it is terrible. We cannot afford to lose this Nexus. 600 hit points and it's almost finished building, which means it's going to stop adding hit points. The Immortals here, though. Those Stalkers ran on the ramp. They would have got punished super hard. Oh, if he could have trapped them with force fields, the Immortal would have wrecked. He's going to try and trap him out here, but Showtime's on point. Good play by both sides. Another hallucination goes across the map behind it. Chronoing Blink, his own sentry, is going to make a hallucination. 34 probes to 31 in Skillous's favor. And he's going to go Glaives. Oh, I like this, guys. Immortal Glaives timing. Immortal Glaives timing. It's very important that Skillous gets a win here. Because remember, even if Reynor, or even if Clem can 2-0 Reynor, which I think some people would say is maybe favored to happen, just looking at the form of the two players in that matchup right now. Clem's been dominating everyone except Serral, basically. We haven't seen anyone take him down. Serral against Cure is massively Serral favored. So, you know, you want to put it in a position where Cure only needs to win a single map for you guys to be able to force the ace match. Oh, the Warp Prism's trying to... Dude, Skillous is trying to dodge the Adept projectiles by picking up those probes as they get targeted. That was actually pretty sick micro. Only ends up saving maybe 1 or 2 extra probes, but still, that's pretty nice. I remember the first time someone did that to me, it was Nina, and in a PvP, and I was like, what? You're allowed to do that? It's like, yeah, if you have a prism, you just no, Skillous! No! Oh no! We were just about to hit Glaives. The timing was almost ready, but a force field here could trap the... Oh! A force field on the ramp would have been clutch there for Skillous. He could have stopped the Stalkers from blinking back. They would have had to blink off to the left or right. Still, with Blink ready, Showtime has that flexibility. 1 Stalker goes down. Dude, if he flanks around and gets the new Prism... No. The Prism's coming out. The Stalkers are waiting for it. They're looking for it. Oh, okay, the Adepts do spot him. Okay. The Adepts are at least aware. He's aware now. Oh my god, a sentry goes down as well. Showtime is feeling himself around. Look at this Prism's just hiding. Remember, guys, Skillous is all in. Skillous is going for an Adept Glaives all in. Showtime, I think he's got wind of this. Yeah, he's got 2 batteries. I mean, he's going to think about a 3rd. This has been delayed so long. He's like, oh, surely it's not happening now. The only problem here is Showtime might underestimate this because it's been delayed so long. He's going to come out front with a different squad of Stalkers. Oh my god, he almost ran into the Prism in the top right with these Stalkers. These Stalkers getting another couple of Adept kills. Oh, this is a disaster. This is not Skillous's best day. Skillous has woken up on the wrong side of the bed today, guys. I've seen Skillous make mistakes and fall apart under pressure. I used to do it all the time as a pro player. This is a different level, though. This is like every mistake is happening and he's like tilting hard, or he's just woken up really sleepy-eyed or something, forgot this match was on, his alarm didn't go off. I don't know what's happened, because don't get me wrong, it's a mixture of Showtime playing very well, but like there are so many mistakes that Showtime is not just punishing, he is murdering these mistakes. He is brutally, savagely making sure that Skillous's entire family line gets ended. I mean, this is bad, man. Sentry does get picked off there, but it's a Stalker trade, so that's not too bad for Skillous. Problem is, Skillous is still just all, and he's just like, well, I guess I just make more Immortals and go later, and I hope that ShowTime overprobes, thinking we're playing a macro game. ShowTime's still just got plenty of Stalkers, and Stalkers plus Blinking Back can do pretty decently versus the Adepts. Even though the Immortal Sentry is hard to deal with, there's only one Sentry, doesn't even have a Guardian Shield. Okay, Stalker does go down, and while the Stalkers beat Adepts head-to-head, it's a numbers game. Sets off the Immortal Barrier from that side. ShowTime. Still buying so much time. Two-pronged Stalker movement. Not really the ShowTime style, but ShowTime is just looking like he's got control right now. Here we go. Adept drop comes in. Nice hot pickup there. Okay, so Skillous is not that far behind in supply. It's the batteries that are the problem, guys. He's got a battery in the natural, 2 in the natural, 1 in the third. Stalkers are coming up. 26 Stalkers is just so many. So many Stalkers. That Immortal taking so much damage. That's huge. That's actually huge, man. Adepts cannot commit to that side. The fact that he's coming from 2 sides is so smart as well. Because the player really wants like the Adepts and the Immortals all together in a ball, just closing in on the Stalkers. But you're coming in from multiple sides. You can pull back in multiple directions. This makes things so awkward for Skillous to try and close the gap here. The Immortal Adept getting on top. He'll focus the pylon down. Force fields, not really achieving too much, but they are still buying a lot of time for ShowTime. More Adepts warping in. Third base will get ransacked. ShowTime's supply is not that amazing. Dude, 4 Immortals are kind of amazing, but with the Warp Prism, oh, and he just blinks. He just blinks and takes him down. He's like, goodbye. 2 Immortals go down before the Prism can get there. Nice hot pickups. He needs to focus the Warp Prism. Does he, though? He killed everything else already because the Adepts shaded out. And those Adepts shading out, it's a high-risk, high-reward maneuver. If he kills all the probes, it's worth it. But ShowTime walls off here, and even focusing the pylon down, there's more pylons coming in behind. The Stalkers are just going to blink on top, and that is going to shut this down. Skillous having a very bad start to this series, and that's unfortunate for Team Liquid because they are up against one of the best teams in the entire league, and ShowTime starting it off with a 2-0 is setting them up for success. All right, pressure's off your shoulders for young Reynor here. Up 2-0 is Basilisk, and that is the start of Legends. Unfortunately, he has the hardest match of them all. Reynor in the bottom left is going to be playing against Team Liquid's Clem in the top left, and Clem is a monster in this matchup. Just the other day, people were like, no, Dark is looking really good. He's going to beat Clem. He just beat Maru. And I'm like, you guys don't seem to understand. I'm sorry, you got to understand the level Clem plays at Zerg vs. Terran. Like, it's this thing where if Dark gets him with cheeky builds, yes. But if Dark tries to play standard, there's just no way. Like, Dark has a 0% chance of beating Clem in a straight-up game. And don't get me wrong, that's most players against Clem, right? You have to be tricky against Clem in most matchups. You cannot play straight up because he's just that good. Reynor, I think peak Reynor can kind of play straight up, but he's got a much better chance if he does some cheeky BS. Now, he's starting with a 15-15 opening. You might be wondering, why would he do that? It's because the Reaper gets across this map so quickly because there's this little corridor where you can jump across. And yeah, if you go for a 16 hatch, 18 gas, 17 pull, I would argue you're meant to end up losing a drone or taking a bunch of sport tricks. Now, the funny thing is, Clem has not really been using that against Dark. All the other Zergs he's been playing to get ahead. He always prioritizes blocking the third base rather than running in and killing drones with the Reaper on this map. And I don't know if that's super worth it. In my opinion, I think he should be much more active with the Reaper going after drones. I've talked about it a few times. He disagrees. He feels like, look, if I delay this third, it just messes up their build more consistently. And fair enough. He is the expert player. All right, there's a queen there. Second queen coming in on the natural now for Reynor just half a second later. He's got those 2 Zerglings. The 2 Zerglings? It looks like he's just going to use them to defend the Reaper. He hasn't rallied those Lings to the right. He could go straight to the right to go for the SCV, but even better, go across the map and try to kill the SCV. I mean, to be fair, killing this SCV but in the command center is not really going to achieve anything against Clem because he's going to react so fast. Okay, so he intercepts the jump in, gets 3 hits on the Reaper, already 15 hit points off it. And you're happy to lose the Zerglings as long as they buy you time so your drones aren't having to slowly get picked off and that sort of thing. Does have to do a Spore Crawler trick, but hey, a single Spore Crawler trick ain't too bad. Double Inject goes down. 3 workers on gas. Now that's interesting. 3 workers on gas. What's that smell, guys? Do you smell some... Is that some stinky cheese? I don't know, man. 3 on gas is a bit unusual. It could have just been a mistake. He pulls one off. It was a mistake. Never mind. No stinky cheese. he meant to pull an extra work into the natural. He just forgot. He did it more like a hatch gas pool. It's okay. Actually, no. He's going Link Speed. Why is he rushing Link Speed? Is he worried about Cyclones? Oh, Clem's been using Cyclones a lot to punish non-Link Speed openings. But Link Speed before third base just strikes me as very odd here. Very, very odd. Remember, guys, it is 2 maps between each pair of players. It's a best of 7 combined scores for the team league. I reinstate that a lot because everyone gets very confused. Every time we cast WTL, they go, it's a best of 7. Isn't this the first game between these 2 players? And that's going to be a comment 400 times today. So anyone who's watching live, do me a favor and help explain that one as we go. And yeah, appreciate it. A lot of people are trying to hit the bracket command. If you guys want to have the results spoiled, you can go look up on Wikipedia. I have not updated the bracket for this particular match, but you guys can go look at the WTL regular season if you want to spoil yourself in the regular match. This is not a live tournament we're casting, as these things are on at about midnight my time. Ooh, Hellions going to dive in. Hellions going to dive in. Uh-oh. This is a really quick lair. Reynor's trying to cheese him, guys. Reynor's trying to do a cheeky build. I think he's trying to rush Mutalisks, potentially. No. Maybe he's going Overlord speed. Oh, wait. He's doing the Queen Rush. He's doing Dark's Queen Ling Cheese. He's gonna load up the Queens. He's gonna do a Queen Ling Flood. He's gonna go drop the Queens on the natural and flood the Lings in. Oh, Raider's being a cheeky bugger, guys. Does Clem realize? Clem's playing 2-on-1 though, which means he's gonna have Stim and 16 Marines. So what we have here is a really cool build order that Dark used in Game 1 of the Finals versus Maru for a stunning victory. That's really good against a Hellion Banshee opening. You know what it's not good against, guys? A guy who's opened up 2 racks and is going to have Stim and like 16 Marines ready. I mean, he won't have a wall off, but I don't think there's enough Lings to... If the Lings can somehow get a surround on the Marines, maybe. I don't know, man. This feels like the 2-on-1 opening from Clem kind of counters this. It kind of counters this opening. Oh, Ling's going to get a surround on the Reaper. That's nice. The Marines might get lured out. Queen drop. Ling drop going towards the main. Queens and Ling's going to drop behind. He's going for the surround. He's going to try and drop like on top of these Marines. That's actually kind of an amazing move. Their CVs are all pulled. The Marines are trying to stand and fight. They try to pull away. The Queens are transfusing. The Marines get behind the mineral line. This is actually massive. Lings are in the main base unloading right now as well. This might actually work. Oh my god, I thought Marines would shut this down. But the way he dropped on top and actually got a lot of the Marines down already. 24 SCVs full. This is a huge move for Reynor. Dark is a bloody genius. He is the creator of this build. He cooked it up for the GSL Grand Finals, and Reynor says, yes, please, that looks like a good build. Now, is it game over? No. There's 3 command centers, dropping mules and that sort of thing. Wait, there is 3, right? Yes, there is. 3rd command center is just lifted right now, that's all. Tank comes down to the low ground, though, with the Marines in front. I don't know if this is breakable. Reynor, if he got that base to lift and was forcing scans here, that would have been even better. As it is, he's going to try and drop creep. The Lings need to be ready to surround. He's got to fight this with the Lings, right? He's kind of worried about it. He's going to lose an Overlord. Reynor trying to go double Evo Chamber. He's on 44 works. The Lings need to come back in. The Lings need to come back in. Reynor can't be affording to lose all these Queens. Oh, no. Okay, the Marines do get caught by the Zerglings. They have to pick up. The Queens redrop creep, but I really think Reynor should be picking up and pulling back right now and trying to just spread creep like here and here. This is very dangerous the longer he stays on the front. Oh, he's going to lose his Ling drop up there. Oh, no. The drop is good enough to keep it alive. Saves even some of the Zerglings and just barely gets out of there. 23 hit points, very close. All right, I love this Queen drop. Now, why is Reynor taking that hatchery, guys? Guys, what am I looking at? What? Why? Break these rocks at least if you're going to take... What is this? Guys, what is that hatchery plate? I've never seen this. Is there... I'm racking my brain. I don't know why you take this hatchery. I'm shocked. I guess Reynor is just worried about drops and he just wants to be more front on. But man, expanding towards the Terran is like 101 of what you normally never do in this matchup. Oh, the Ling drop comes back in. Clem leaves himself wide open. Losing 3 or 4 SCVs is going to be a real big problem. It's 4. Oh, almost loses a few more as well. Dude, I'd love to see him just keep doing that. He's going to go drop Queens on the left side as well. He's going to get creep started in all these different areas, and there's no way you have enough scans to deal with all of it. This is just brilliant play with the queen drop after this. This is awesome, man. Is this a nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition move? It might be. Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition. Yeah, I mean, he's going to take the hatchery on the right as well. It's just normally you take the bottom right or the far left behind the minerals. An odd choice, but works out for now. Now, the upgrades are about even. Infestation Pit's on the way. Reynor's on 63 workers against 38. Clem's looking pretty screwed right now. If he can't get some momentum soon, he's in a big spot of bother. I like that Reynor is still adding drones, but also mixing army. Because, honestly, he needs to mix army. Now he sees a tank coming. He's got to just go back into pure army now. Nothing else. Nothing but army. I love that his Lings are going for the interception. He's going to catch the Marine tank on the rally. This is a disaster. This is a disaster for Clem. Clem caught off guard by the Ling Queen attack, but his tank does survive at least. That's something. There's creep behind him. Creep's trying to spread from the front as well. The queen drop going around the map right now. He's still got creep everywhere. There's a lot of different things for Reynor to try to do here. The Banelings, though, nice tank target fire, especially with those Marines. That being said, he realizes there's too many Lings with 1-1. Has to hot pick up and get the heck out of there. Clem getting chased home right now. Oh, this is a big problem. This is a big problem. He saves that tank. He's trying to unload in the middle of the Zerglings. You know you're desperate when you're unloading in the middle of the Zerglings, but his pickup micro is very, very good. Reynor going to drop creep inside his opponent's base. For those who don't know, if you guys really want to insult your opponent, the first thing you do is you go into their living room and you poo on their carpet. That's essentially what Reynor just did. Don't get me wrong. Clem is not your typical gamer. He cleans it up straight away. He doesn't just go, oh, that's gross, and then leave it there for a week. He's not a complete bloody neckbeard. But it's still an insult to him, and there's going to be a bit of a stain on the carpet. He might not get his bond back. Reynor using psychological warfare already. Goes in with a big Ling run by on the third base. The tank's going to do a fair bit of friendly fire to those SCVs at the same time. The Marines and the tank will eventually defend, but not without 11 SCVs going down. Queen's here trying to defend. The Queens should be able to maybe kill one tank across the gap. Be pretty sick if they could get the second one as well, but I don't think they'll be able to. Those Queens will go down. Queens go back. Oh my god, he goes back and poos on the exact same spot. What an absolute weirdo. That is nasty. That is Reynor being as annoying as possible. He's kind of styling on him, and I think, you know, this is true psychological damage. I'm not even kidding you. Clem's going to be like, dude, why are you toying with me, man? I get I'm losing this game, but can you not toy with me? And Reynor, of course, just using every tool in his arsenal. You know he has a bit of a grin on his face right now because he is playing some disgusting StarCraft. Redropping the Queens over there and buying the natural as well. Dude, what a nasty boy. These Queens have been the MVPs. One of them has 7 kills. Picks up, saves it again, and goes to redrop in the main. Meanwhile, third base gets lifted. Oh, because he borrowed a Baneling there. Oh, he could have set that off on these Lings. Oh my god, that's so amazing. I can't believe he borrowed a Baneling there in the middle of the fighting. That is hilarious. Tank is going to be doing some damage. The Queen's pushing back the Medivacs. Looks like the borrowed Baneling did go down there. Lings with the flank, though, take out the siege tank. Medivac goes down. And Reynor with a stunning Queen Ling opening shuts it down. Now, in hindsight, what went wrong for Clem, guys? I think on the first attack, he needed to, like, run up his ramp. I think if he got his Marines and SCVs on his ramp, initially he would have been okay. But essentially, the first fight was just such a surprise. The way Reynor baited him out into the open was genius. And, of course, he has to tap out. Reynor's way too far ahead. Okay, we're gonna go back and check. What the hell happened there, man? Because that attack was pretty brilliant. It's like 5 minutes? 5:30, something like this? Yeah. There's just too much surface area in this first attack, guys. So look, if the Marines are on the ramp with SCVs in front, I think Clem, like, you know, he gets a few more Marines out, he gets the Medivacs out, he can just keep the Marine firepower up. But look how much damage the Zerglings are doing just because they're getting surface area. And the drop here, and dropping Lings in the main at the same time to do even more damage. Even though he doesn't lose that many Marines, he loses like a couple, and he loses so many SCVs so very quickly. And apparently, yeah, he just needed to run up into his main base and get out of there. But the shock factor is real. You don't really have a lot of time to process what's happening. You have to react really quickly. He tried to do so. And that first fight's just way too good for Reynor. GG, well played. Basilisk now up 3-0. All right, well, that was a sick game there. Reynor dropping Trow and unloading that creep all over Clem's base. Very nicely done. Gonna go for a 17 pool. Are we going 17 pool? What is this? Yeah, 17 pool. Okay, pool first, opening on Ghost River. Clem now in the top right. Clem's going to be a little cautious after that last game. Team Liquid getting hammered right now. And remember what I said, guys? You really want to put Cure against Serral in that last position. You want to put him in a spot where you know, you have to win one map or to get the ace match. Right now, Clem needs to win this map, and then Cure needs to win 2 maps in a row versus Serral. Don't get me wrong, all those maps will be played regardless, but my gosh, this is going to be a tough one for Team Liquid to claw back. To be fair, Team Liquid are one of the best teams in the league. It's just Basilisk and Vitality are by far the best. You know, you've got your Maru Solar team and Ryung, just very good Vitality, especially with Maru being such a hard carry in these Team League best of 1 formats. He's very good with his preparation. He was always good in Pro League. And Serral, obviously, having Reynor backing him up. And now ShowTime as well. Really adds some very good stability. Trigger was always a surprising player in that he would take maps off Beyond. He'd occasionally 2-0 a Beyond or a really good player out there, especially in PvT. He looked great. But he was a little weaker in like PvZ, for instance. Whereas I think ShowTime has a chance versus the top Zergs, a little bit higher than Trigger. And as we saw, so experienced. Took down Skillous 2-0 as well. How long until you're going to be playing Battle Aces today? A couple of hours, guys. Yeah, maybe hour and a half. Not sure how long this series goes for. But as soon as I'm done casting this series, I'll put in for some Battle Aces, and I'll try out that Age of Mythology beta a little bit later today. Beta! Ooh. So the Lings weren't able to get across the map. Reaper gets in, and it looks like it's just a modified macro build. I like that Reynor's not going too hard into gas. I think when you go pool first, it's very important to prioritize your 3rd hatchery, your drones, your queens, because pool first already puts you a little behind. You see he's got 3-4 lava right now. Actually, he needs to be droning. Reynor, we've got idle lava. He's prioritizing queens and ling speed. This is something I feel like you have to be a little greedy off a pool first or you end up behind. I get it. You don't want these Hellions to come in and ruin your day, but for me, I definitely like to see the drones being the priority. Very much so. I feel like it's not bad what Reynor's doing. He's kind of balancing things. I just want to make sure he leans into that. And I think I'm a little traumatized because there was a game Dark played on Amphion recently where he went very early gas, like pool first, 6 ling pressure into a very fast ling speed. And then it was the most one-sided mid-game I've ever seen because he was so far behind. Now, to be fair, that was a 6-ling opening. This was only a 2-ling opening, but Clem gets in and gets a drone. Bit of a slow reaction there. And, oh, nice Evo Chamber block to stop the Hellions from getting in. Reynor's going to lose a drone, 2 drones. 1 to the Reaper and 1 to the Hellions. Looks like the Queen did manage to trap the Reaper, which is fantastic. Evo Chamber should be getting cancelled there, but Reynor's a little bit busy stabilizing right now, trying to get his just handful of Queens out to defend. Evo Chamber does get cancelled. Good catch by Reynor. I tell you, at my level, whenever I do a fancy move like that, I always feel like a god. And I come back 30 seconds later and there's an Evo Chamber blocking my mineral line. And I'm like, wow. Yeah, this is why we don't do things that are that fancy if we're not actually the best players in the world. Because we do part of the good move. And we never quite complete, you know? There's always a mistake behind it. Now, to be fair, this is a highly aggressive build for Clem, guys. No 3rd command center. Liberator Hellion coming across only now. 415 3rd command center. So you need a lot of queens and lings. There's only 5 queens and 10 lings and he's supply blocked. Oh no, Reynor's supply blocked right now. He's trying to build queens, but they can't start. This is a problem because look, he's got no queen in behind the natural. Uh-oh. Clem getting some momentum now. I like that the spore builds immediately. There's no spore in the main though, so that base is wide open. Queens, 3 out front, 2 of them split to go defend. Lings combining with this could be good. A Hellion goes down, nice move. Looks like the Liberator managed to catch a single drone. He's going to be a bit of a nuisance. Those queens need to move into that main base. No, he positions on the natural. Queens cannot beat that. Oh, this is a really good positioning on that Lib as well. You'd need to be on that far left side. Oh, he transfuses it at the last second to save it. Tries to keep mining during it, though, which is probably unnecessarily greedy. And, oh, the Lings are getting cleaned up, which means the Hellions can now go north. Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay, new Queen pops out. Get rid of 2 Hellions. They can't one-shot anymore. Trying to do another Evo Chamber. He's trying to Evo Chamber everywhere. He's trying to just block these Hellions. Reynor, he just doesn't have enough stuff out right now, and he's taking tons of damage. The Liberator did go down. The Hellions will also go down. If he gets another kill, that would be insult to injury, but it's not going to happen. 7 drones. I think 2 died before that, so 9 drones, 12 Lings. Units lost tab is very even, but I think this basically slows down Reynor enough that Clem has an advantage. Yeah, I think with the creep being slowed down, I think it's a small advantage, especially because he's already got Marines, tanks, and medevacs building. His 1-1's very late. But if he can start another medevac now as he hits 100 gas, and he immediately does it, so he realized this is one of the great things about top players. They don't just press buttons when they're producing. They're very aware of what they're building. And he realized he didn't have enough money for the second medevac, so he queues it up the moment he does get the money. And I feel like a 2 tank push, or even a 1 tank, 20 marine push with stim, shields, 1-1 coming in a bit after the push, I think that's fine. Like, this would be a great way to apply pressure. And if he can cancel the 4th base, that's going to be big. Now, Reynor is very good at bouncing back from damage. He's got a Baneley Nest on the way in the natural, second gas as well. Macro hatchery coming in. So he's got 3 gases. 3 gases, 3 mineral lines. And if he can get that 4th hatchery droned up, he's going to be in a good spot. Carapace does start for Reynor. Reynor only up 8 workers, though. And now going to start hemorrhaging a few units here and there as overlords are getting taken down. Great reaction. Immediately pulls this overlord back. Might get it to safety if he's lucky. He's still building queens, though. Building queens this late in the game. Never what you really want. You can see he's very low on transfuse, guys. He only has like 2 or 3 transfuses. That goes down. Nice flank with the Lings. Only loses 1 queen, though. Nicely done. Zombie Grub in the chat with a sub. She says, Age of Mythology Retold is great. Ooh, all right. I'm more excited to try the beta later today, then. I never played the original. Should I play campaign or play multiplayer? I think they've got both set up right now for that beta. Curious to try it out. Marines coming in on the left side. Not going to find anything. Queens should be good. Oh, gets a queen. Only takes a few hits on the medevac. Not bad, not bad. Now, Reynor's on 72 drones, so he's got the 4th base full. He's going to go to the Hive for the Ultras. Well, does he play Ultras or does he just play Vipers, right? I always see Hive and I think Ultras, and then I have to correct myself because I remember I'm watching pro gamers, not myself. Ultras are a massive noob stomper unit that can be good at pro level. The pros are a bit more focused on Vipers, adrenal glands, those sorts of things usually. Marines going down, double drop in the natural. Spore Crawler and Queen do a fair bit of damage. Good drone pull. The drop in the bottom did have to pick up. 3 drones is not too bad because these medevacs are taking a lot of damage. Baneling speed's not quite ready. Oh, he's going to focus a bunch of Banes down. Oh, barely picks up before those Banes can detonate as well. Oh, Clem's feeling it. Clem's feeling it right now. Gets an extra drone, picks up, goes back to the corner. Drop down here, ready to immediately stim back in. Oh, he's going to go north and try to clear creep, is he? But the creep's pretty deep. It's a good scan, though. You can get that active tumor on the right side. That would be massive. He's going to try and redrop on it. Wants to use that scan, and he does. He gets it. All right, behind this, 4th Command Center is coming up. 2-2. Drilling Claws. And it feels like Clem now has a very big momentum lead on a map that's small. It's cramped. It's hard for the Zerg to play this one out. Medevac comes back in. Ling Bane reacts. How many tanks are we at? 4 siege tanks. There's only 3 Banelings on this map. A single Viper and Adrenal Gland starts up. There's just so little gas. This is a mass Ling style with a handful of Banelings, which I think is the right way to play with how the early game went. I think this is one of the best comeback styles you can do. He's going to take 2 more gases now because he does just feel like he's starving a little bit. But Reynor, does he even know about this push? Okay, I think he sees it. He should know about this push. He sees that Marine. Yeah, okay. He's going to try and force the siege up and then pull back. Good move for Reynor. This buys him a little bit of time. Lets that Adrenal Glands come in closer. But oh my god, he hasn't started 2-2. Oh no, he's making Banelings. He hasn't started 2. He made a Viper and Adrenal Glands. He hasn't started 2-2. Oh, Clem has a massive upgrade lead. His tank position is brilliant now. And I like that he's not forcing it. He's just setting up an annoying position, dropping the south. Big counterattack. Oh, I think everyone was inspired by the way Dark just ran across Site Delta and absolutely butchered Maru in that game. That was perhaps one of the silliest games I've seen in a while of ZVT. And it was such a vicious way to win. It's dropping the south, gives up the hatchery kill. No, gets it. Nice kill, saves all the Marines. Clem, hot pickups at the last second. Always in a perfectly fine spot. +2 Carapace finally starts up here. We've got the Lings trying to move across the map. Sense Tower trying to come down as well. We've got that 4th base down the bottom. We'll see exactly what we can do. Ooh, Lings darting in and out. All right. Clem, though, if he keeps this 4 base versus 4 base, it's pretty bad for Reynor. Reynor needs to find good fights, like really good fights. Tanks on the high ground, doing what they can. The Marines are pulling back. I like that there's a big Ling flank on the right. 2 of the tanks already went down. There's no Banelings down in the south, though, which means the Marines are crushing this fight. That tank held that choke point so very well. The Baneling goes down. There's no Banelings. It's 69 Zerglings against 63 Marines. I'll tell you who wins that fight. It's the man with the gun. If you don't have a bloody explosive Baneling filled with acid to land on these boys, these Marines are going to be an absolute menace. But the Zerglings are getting on top. Double upgrade advantage as well, man. Double upgrade advantage. Marines are doing so well. The reinforce is going to be hard to stop. 5 more queens are building right now. As I said, if you're mass building queens it's usually a sign of you're in D-Town. He's low on lava. He does have a macro hatch, but apparently didn't hit enough injects this game. Just too much pressure from Clem and Reynor. I would have loved to see him just keep committing to the counterattacks, because front on, you're not going to beat a Clem on 4 base when you're on 4 base. Not when he's up in upgrades. Not when he's got mines coming in, and you've only got Ling Bane and a single Viper. Reynor, he's kind of pushed into a corner here, and just hats off to Clem for his early harassment. So effective with the Reaper and the Hellions, and just darting around with that Liberator in and out. Felt like he got himself a good lead, stopped Reynor from running away with this game. Reynor's a master of running away with it if he has a good early game, but he did not have a good early game this time, and Clem, once he's in the driver's seat, is a dominant force to be reckoned with. Nice pullback on the creep there. Medevac's trying to pull away as well. It's too many Banelings to focus fire, but he's going to try, because he's crazy. / good enough to pull it off. He even retargeted the Widow Mine! How? How did he retarget that Widow Mine? His Marines were standing on top of it. How do you click on a Widow Mine when your Marines are on top of it? What wizardry does this freak use? Honestly, how does Clem do that? He was stutter stepping, focusing Banes, and he clicks on the friggin' Widow Mine as his Marines move on top of it. Maybe he clicked it a fraction of a second earlier. Just incredible to retarget the Widow Mine, because it was about to friendly fire his own units by hitting a Zergling, and he changed it to the Banelings. Just brilliant play by Clem as usual. His speed, his aggression, and his micro is ridiculous. He definitely didn't have a control group. There's no way. I very much doubt he had a control group for that Widow Mine. This man ain't control grouping Widow Mine separately. He just clicked it so quickly in the middle of the action like a psychopath. Widow Mine Marine Ghost there, trying to come in from all sides. It's actually the Zerg getting sandwiched by the Terran, and that is never a good situation. Every fight, it looks like he pushes back some Terran, and you look at the supply and you realize this is a perma-maxed out Terran that will not go down. Beautiful spreadies backwards, not enough Lings or Banes. There's even a random Liberator joining the fray, trying to kill an Overseer, because lol, why not? Banelings on the right side, not able to connect. The Ghosts are here, snipes on the Queens, boom, boom. One of the Queens does go down, and Reynor just does not have the resources to hang on. He's fighting like a beast, but that ain't enough here against Clem right now. Clem has momentum on Ghost River, and it looks like he will keep Team Liquid's hopes alive for now. And Reynor just refuses to give in. Hats off to him, I love it. Another Parasitic Bomb would be nice. Doesn't quite have maxed energy on the Viper, but if you can keep Parasitic Bombing the Medevacs, that'd be pretty cool. Oh! Looks like they had a little bit of lag, apparently. Not sure if maybe this was Reynor playing from Korea. But, looks like that's just way too much Terran, man. There's not much, when you are drastically behind, sending big counterattacks is the best thing you can do. But you can tell Reynor can barely stop this army from pushing into his base. So it's not an option. Like, that's why the hype has left my voice, because I'm like, look, he tries to do it now, because he's like, well, I have to do something. And the moment he splits units off to counterattack, it's like, well, I have nothing left on the front and I just die. Not to mention the rally of Terran is there. Clem's fast enough to deal with it. Reynor runs into that and gets completely destroyed. GG, well played. All right, guys. We've got Cure in the bottom right side of the map, and this man has the weight of the world on his shoulders. Alternatively, does he really? Because, I mean, he can basically just go, wow, my teammates let me down. They suck. I mean, I drew the short straw. There's zero pressure on me. I think that's the way to look at this for Cure, because you're playing against Serral. It's Basilisk Serral. Now, to be fair, two things are going for Cure. Not even including him going, hey, no pressure. If I win these 2 games and force the ace match, I'm a god. Number one, Serral's in the military. His practice is not as consistent right now. He's got like a little office next to their barracks that he gets to be able to practice in, but he says it's not that much. Number one. Number two, he also has I would say looked a little more mortal in his match versus Oliveira. And it's hard to pin down. Was Oliveira just playing like a god in Dallas? Or was Serral looking a bit more touchable, a little bit more fragile than normal? And I think people will say, well, but he 4-0'd Maru. What are you talking about, Pig? I would argue Maru didn't put up much of a fight. And I don't think that's controversial. I also argue Maru didn't put up much of a fight against Dark in his grand finals in the GSL either. A better fight for sure. But I'm not sure if that was, like we all said, Oliveira was the real test. And is part of that, is Serral's form just a little weaker now that he's focusing on his mandatory military service. He's not out for a few more months. That's one thing. The other thing is Cure beat Dark, I believe, in a best of 3 recently. He's beaten a few really good Zergs recently. after about 2 years of not taking any series off the top Zergs. So Cua's starting to kind of put some pieces together. He's getting back in form, and it feels like he's powering up in this matchup, which is his huge problem matchup, because if it wasn't for Maru, he'd be the best TVT player in the world. If it wasn't for Maru, he'd definitely be the best TVP player in the world. Right? He's way better than Clem in TVP. And you can make an argument for like Max Packs might be better versus Cure, and Clem can beat him, but Cure can't. But like if you look at like versus Hero, Classic, Creator, Showtime, and all those different Protosses, I would 100% say Cure has like a way better chance against all of them. So I really feel like Cure, if he can fix this matchup, that'll be great. And I'm not saying I'm expecting him to win, but I'm saying if he can make this match close, if he can show some good builds, find a way to be competitive against Serral, that'll be great. And already, the build orders are quite good. Serral's gone hatch gas pool, pulling workers even off minerals onto gas to get a super early ling speed, because Cure is known for his 2-rack Reaper Wall-Off. But he knows that Serral's really good against that build, something that Maru keeps trying to force verse him, and it never goes well. It always is part of why, it's a big part of why Maru struggles so much with Serral, is he uses too much 2-rack Reaper, and it's very bad against Serral. Serral knows how to shut that build down and always gets ahead. So Cure goes 3 command center. He gets a Viking, which is an information denial slow value unit. So he's basically saying, I'm gonna play the long slow game. I'm not worried about anything. I don't need a Banshee for safety. I don't need to worry about anything. The Ling run by is pretty good though. If you get the second SCV, that's pretty slick. Mining time, 2 SCVs, 5 or 6 Zergans, that's worth it for sure. Very nicely done. Reaper is still alive. Comes back with these Hellions. But this is it. So the Viking starts getting in. Oh, okay, no. He's not doing a normal build. Never mind. It's the 3 command center Marauder Hellbat. 3cc Marauder Hellbat, ladies and gentlemen. Armory goes down. So this is the build that Hero Marine beat Serral with in the regionals of Valencia summer 2022. Right out of COVID. First LAN event back, right? Second LAN event back after Katowice. And Serral didn't go. And he took a little bit of a break there. He was like a little burnt out or something. But yeah, that was a surprise. It worked when Hero Marine did it because all of his queens were really far out on the edge of creep and they all got jumped on by the Hellbats and the Marauders and they couldn't get back to safety. Problem, there's Roaches building. Roaches kind of hard counter Hellbats. And even though Marauders are good versus Roaches, you're not going to have enough of them to deal with 3 hatcheries of Roaches popping out. So I think this is actually a very good setup for Serral. And in general, Roaches are just such a safe unit. He's got Spores on the edges as well, in case Hellions come in. Liberators come in, sorry. There is a Liberator behind this. We've got 2 Marines, 3 Marauders, and a total of 8 Hellions, about to be 10. So it's going to be 10 Hellbats, 3 Marauders, 2 Marines. There's only 3 Roaches right now. There's only 3 Roaches. This could work. Serral doesn't know what's coming. Let's go to Serral's vision. Serral has no idea. He's like, yeah, a few Roaches to stop a Hellion run by. Now he sees it. Oh no, he starts building Roaches, but he only has 1 lava. 1 Roach goes down immediately. The second Roach is about to fall. Yes, one of the Hellbats is taking a lot of damage, but he's already losing his units. Queens come into the transfuse. Nicely done. Marauders need to get on top of those Roaches. The Hellbats and the Marauders going to try and focus fire these Queens. 1 Queen goes down. Oh, the Queens are starting to drop. The Queens are starting to drop. They're focus firing Hellbats there, so they managed to kill 1 before they go down. But 7 Roaches are building. If those Roaches get out, that's going to be a problem. Hellbat does chase after this. These units need to get in on top of those workers. If you can get a Hellbat in a mineral line, that'll be huge. 3 Queens come from the south. They're going to come back and add massive damage. That Hellbat does fall. Only 2 drones going down. It's looking like it might be done. As these Roaches come out, the Medevac falls. Great snipe for Serral. And Serral absolutely shuts it down. Cure, his Liberator flies in. I mean, to be fair, he's going to focus a few drones down because he knows this is done. He's like, okay, kill drones. That's the highest value I can get for DPS. Actually, he's killing like 8? 8, 9? Not bad. 9 drones. Question is, what's the follow-up? Remember, this was a 3cc, not a 2cc build. So he's on 55 workers. He's now going to 5 barracks. And double engineering bay was meant to build, but he didn't have enough money, so he only queued up 1 of them, which is unfortunate. He's going to notice in a moment. Oh, Cure, we got to clean this macro up, bro. We got to clean this macro up. To be fair, Serral does have a 4th hatchery up, and that's a problem. Because he can drone his 4th, make double upgrades. So he's going to have an upgrade lead. 4th base is going to drone. And he's got an infestation pit already on the way. Zergling Scouts doesn't see anything to be afraid of. Where are the upgrades, Cure? Oh, no. I mean, the attack didn't really work out, but it's especially bad if he forgets about his upgrades. He's going to go fast 4th command center afterwards on location. So Cure's like, okay, well, I went for the big aggression. Now I play macro game. Unfortunately, macro game without upgrades is crapro game. That didn't roll off the tongue. In my head, that changing the macro part the Mac bar to macro for crap it was real smooth in my brain. Sometimes you hear something in your head and then you say it and you're like, yeah, that doesn't roll off the tongue at all. But yeah, the point does stand. You need those upgrades, man. So we are going to see Roaches into Baneling Hive transition. Serral is miles ahead, and he should be able to roll over Cure in this game and finish off the series with Basilisk. Now, they do play both games because map score ends up mattering for points potentially at the end of the season, as that can obviously be a tie-breaking sort of situation. So every map does still technically matter in terms of your overall season score. Not to mention, player stats are nice to look at. Usually, Maru and Serral are both up in the mid-90s in their win percentage. Sometimes, I think occasionally, one of them's had like an 87% win rate. Something like that, like high 80s, which is ridiculous, by the way. You guys, you know, sometimes people are like, oh, I mean, I guess they lose 8%. That's a fair amount. It's not, guys. If you win 9 out of 10 maps you play at a pro level, it's kind of disgustingly insane. But there is always a bit of a competition to see exactly which one of those is going to come out with the better stats. At least you don't have to wipe your words, Pig. Truer words have never been said. That was a zero wiper for sure. A ghost poo, as some of you in the chat call them. I call them zero wipers. A no wiper. Sign of a good diet. Fifth base is up. Vipers up. Five? Guys, Serral's repeat rate might be a bit broken. He made 5 Vipers. That can't be on purpose, is it? There's no way that's on purpose. Unless he knows he's going to play against Mass Tank Lib. Double drop in the north comes in. 5 Vipers is absolutely crazy, guys. This is 1,000 gas he just spent. Serral cancels his gold base. He's like, okay, all right, back to 5 base. That's fine. The gold base was a little greedy. You know, he's like, I'll concede that. We've got 3 more barracks coming in. +2 attacks starting on the engineering bays. Vehicle weapons +1 did finish. 5th command center coming in as well. More medevacs going to that bottom left. I think he's realizing, like, look, Serral wants to defend this. I could probably take some good trades here just because this is such an awkward position. Cure. Oh, that's the sort of problem that Cure needs to get rid of. That's what, you know, I've mentioned it a few times. I was talking to Reynor at Dallas, and I was like, why does Cure struggle in this matchup? And that was the exact reason. He said there's too many moments where Cure's just not looking, and Banelings just roll on his Marines and get free kills. He said that's kind of the main problem Cure has, is he just sometimes isn't looking when other Terrans are never caught off by that stuff anymore. You know, he says, guys like Clem and Maru, you never catch them with that anymore. But with Cure, it's like a regular occurrence. If a game goes long enough, it's always going to happen. Ultra Cavern does come in. 5 Vipers are just going to obliterate the medevacs with parasitic bombs, man. I feel like Serral absolutely should be trading. Abducting tanks, blinding clouding, spamming parasitic bombs. I mean, Serral should be able to go kill him. But Serral is a player who basically breaks all the rules. Most players, I always say, if you're almost maxed out, start pushing and trading. Otherwise, you're giving time for the Terran to catch up. Serral, though, is very methodical. He'll wait for the perfect fight. And here we go. He's going to go for a parasitic bomb on the medevac, abducting on these siege tanks. Notice the Banelings pull back. And he's going to abduct 1, 2, 3 siege tanks down to their death. Very nice bile on the retreat as well. I like that he triple biles like a 3 hit point tank there, just to make sure it does go down. Northern Orbital only has 2 tanks and a little bit of bio defending. Should be enough, though. It's only a few roaches and Banelings. But, kills the Sense Terror and pulls back. He just wants to remove Cure's vision. So now Cure won't know when he's coming in with the next wave ahead of time. Won't have all that time to prepare. Oh, once again, Cure chases a bit too far, not watching, loses his Marines to Banelings. That's a small thing in the big picture, but small things add up over time. When a few of those do go unnoticed in a row, it can really add up. 2-2 bio and armor are on the way, but +3 carapace is ahead of them. Serral has the upgrade lead. Serral's already taking the corners, and not only does he take the corners, he will transfer workers to them, usually very quickly. Notice how this base, he's already droning it up, and he's probably going to put on those gases, because Serral is the #1 player in the world when it comes to denying resources from his opponent. No other player does this consistently or effectively. When you know your opponent's just turtling, which Cure clearly, his only game plan is survive for 5 minutes, build 10 command centers, and then slowly take 1 base at a time. Serral is going to abuse that. He's got mass drop a lot on the way as well. Parasitic bomb comes in, mass transfuse. Guys, he just transferred his Vipers like 3 times. He kills a bunch of Vikings. Doesn't lose a single Viper. The Vikings are there to counter the Vipers, and they can't even get it done. He needs ghosts. Here we go. Turrets are out front. Parasitic bomb landing on the medevac, though. Vipers try to go deep. Another parasitic bomb goes down. Multiple medevacs go down. Banelings and Ravagers do take out the command center. And Cure, this is kind of the position you find yourself stuck in. If Zerg's ahead of the curve, like Serral is, they will just keep denying your 5th like that over and over. And it's not that cost inefficient. He's only down 500 resources, partially because the man still has 4 Vipers alive. Bottom left base, fully saturated. Watch this top right base. It's going to finish soon. I would not be surprised if he grabs workers off this base, some off this base, moves them to that top right and starts denying the mining there. But look at this. Massling drop in the main. That's wide open. There's only one Viking watching. It will not stop this drop. And if he also attacks the left side with more Banelings, Ultras, Ravages at the same time, he could kill the 5th base and drop the main at the same time. Massling run by on the north. Not going to find that much damage. He's trying to kill the sensor tower, and he's like, I don't care about taking a messy trade. It's fine. Viking going after the Overlord with a bit of micro Q. I might be able to get rid of one Overlord, but without micro, it's going to change targets. And there we go. Serral's just going to go right in with that Ling drop. He just EMP'd his own barracks, did Cure there. Bit of a little misclick. And the Vikings coming forward. The Ghosts are going to cloak. Siege tank going to go down. Not that much damage. Gets like an add-on. Doesn't even get a siege tank. 1 Zergling in the mineral line or 2. Maybe going to get a few SCVs here as Cure hasn't dealt with that yet. Attack on the front. That's where the real fight is, though, as he pulls him out of position. Blinding Clouds come in. Tank position's nice. Really nice tank position. Banelings not getting into the bio. And actually, I mean, he does force the 5th base to lift. Biles down both tanks on the disengage. Nice move for Serral. Serral's still got a few Roaches and Ravages, and these units are very supply inefficient right now. I would have 100% thrown the Roaches away by now, if not the Ravages. Usually for me, it's not an issue because I would have lost them because I'm bad at StarCraft. This is like Serral's actually got a weakness here because he's so good. He's like healing his units and not losing them. And I'm like, dude, you don't really want Roaches. The Ravages are 3 supply each. I mean, they're okay. You're getting value out of them, but like, you know, you almost, don't you want just more Lings and Banes and Ultras? And he's like, nah, it's fine. Look at this. Top right base is already fully saturated. Bottom left base is definitely, I mean, Q is a very good turtle macro player. He's just playing from way behind right now. And this is a defensive / drone rally Nidus Worm. Serral likes to throw these, so if he gets in trouble, he can just click the drones and the Nidus to escape. It's a very smart move. And it just makes it lower risk having these exposed drones on these edge bases. +3 melee, +2 ranges on the way as well. Spire's coming in. Potential Broodlord transition. 5th base finally has a planetary on it. Q is like, please let me mine. Please let me mine. Serral's like, why would I do that? I'm sorry, you want to do what? You want to do mining? Are you a dwarf? Are you a dwarf? You want to mine some minerals? Some shiny rocks? I think it's only a matter of time till he busts. Yeah, he's going for it. He's going for it. Blinding Cloud on the turret. Don't see that every day, but no. I mean, this position's really good for Cure. I love the way he's got all the tanks really far back. Turrets out front. So the Vipers can't really get in range of the high-value units. Cure's going to start to spread some tanks forward, but Serral's just like, oh, this isn't a clean engage. And any other player would have a lot more urgency right now. But Serral's like, I'm mining your corners. You only get 1 more base. You have 1 more full base here. This base is pretty fresh. If I get to mine 2 more bases and I'm trading pretty equally with you, then I am totally okay with that. Just going to dive in here. Look like Queen's actually killed that Viking on the north as well. Takes out a few tanks, just small engagements. The little middle finger Zergling, as I like to call it. The up yours. Your command center can't land here unless you scan. Vehicle, +3 vehicle weapons, as well as building platings on the way. 3 tanks building at a time. You got to be careful. Heavy tanks really good if you can protect them from Blinding Cloud. But then if Broodlords come out, that's where the problem could lie. Viper coming in. Ooh. People were requesting a bit more zoom in rather than zoom out. I think fights like this, I think these big battles, you kind of need the zoom out. Yeah. I'll just try not to zoom in and out so much. I think small scale fights, I should zoom in a bit more. But these ones, you really want to see how far that tank line goes. Command center's going to the bottom left right now. Marine Marauder coming forward. The tanks as well. Can we do some more spinnies? Yeah, everybody loves it when you spin the camera randomly for no reason. That's the best move, right? Oh, I didn't realize there was a camera guy, but now I realize he's there, and that's never a good thing. It's the classic. Remember, guys, if you're a good cameraman, the audience should be very aware of your presence. That's #1 rule of camera work. It's you to insert yourself into the frame, you know? Dude, I mean, yeah, Serral's just so patient. He's like, what are you going to do, dude? And if you take this, he's like, okay, you're just going to sit there. I'll take this base as well. I kind of wish he took this even earlier. And he's already popping the Nidus Worm there. He's just waiting. He's just waiting. Look at how efficient he's been. Still within 1,000 resources. And he's just getting value out of Parasitic Bomb. The lack of mobile anti-air is a kind of a problem other than Parasitic Bomb. Like, it would be nice if he had something else. I still do think these Roaches and Ravages are a pretty big waste of supply. But look at that. Runs forward, gets a tank. happy to do so. Lingbane Ultra trying to defend on the south as well. Another tank goes down. Siege tank does blast the Ultra though. Nice move over there. Gets another tank, comes forward onto the tower. Wow, Serral's so good in this dance. And he's still transfusing Ravagers and Vipers. Oh my gosh. This is such a problem, man. Blinding Clouds coming in all over the tanks, the Libs, the Ghost, the Bio, trying to pull back his Cure right now. He's got no map control. There is creep on the front line. When the Zerg is able to advance basically into range of your units on creep, it's a huge problem. But he knows if he doesn't get to this gold base, he's kind of screwed. He needs to steal some of these minerals before Serral gets all of it. Oh, 2 medevacs go down to the Corrosive Bile as well. Blue Flame is finally here with +3 vehicle weapons, which means Zerglings get down to 1 hit point from a Blue Flame Hellbat shot. But look at this. The minerals are almost gone. Only about half gas left. It's only a matter of time until Serral frees up enough APM to transfer his drones down there. And look at that, guys. Look at that. Yeah, he's going to transfer drones out there. Nice. I love it, man. Really well done. He's building more hatcheries as well, just to make sure, because he's got so much production, so much money, sorry. He wants to have an abundance of production to use that. And Ling's on the right side denying those Vikings, in case they wanted to try and land. Oh man, the tanks just keep going down. There's not enough bio here. He needs some more Hellbats mixed in, maybe a few Widowmines, and then these Ghosts are getting decent value, but it feels like the Ravagers are insane. Like I said, I would get rid of the Ravagers because they're a worthless unit at this point. Unless your name's Serral, and the same friggin' 5 Ravagers. Now there's only 4 left. They just keep killing tanks and Libs. The combination of Ravager plus Viper usage controlled by a player this good is unreasonably good. It's not even fair. Thors are now on the front line. He's a little worried about a Broodlord swap. Thors help against that. This is going to be an issue, man. I don't know. Like, okay. +2 air weapons is only now coming in. So I guess the air upgrades suck for Serral, but he doesn't seem to need air. Blinding Clouds? Blinding Clouds? Okay, one of the Vipers does go down. The Vikings and the Thors trying to fight as well as they can, but the Ultraling Bane, or Ravagerling Bane, I should say, just rolling over the top. Banelings getting on top of the Ghost. Banelings getting on top of the Ghost and the Marines! Oh, those Banelings did a lot of damage. Luckily, the Ghosts don't quite die, but a lot of the Marines did. And that's a good fight for Serral once again. You might be saying, is it really, guys? But look, Pig, he's now he's down 4,000 resources. He's down 4,000 resources while mining 2 entirely extra bases. Each base has something like, I'm just going to pull a number out of my butt, 14,000 resources on it, minerals and gas combined. I don't actually know the number. I think it's like 9 plus 5. Yeah, I think it's about 14 and a half, something like that. I mean, that's a massive amount of resources. 2 extra bases, something like 28,000 more resources. And now you're mining a 3rd one. And remember, every mineral you take from these bases is 1 less mineral he gets to mine. So that trip, 5 minerals. Oh, that's 5 damage to Cure, because this is the last base that Cure is meant to be able to take on this map. He's given up on the bottom left. He's going to go to the top right, but he's not going to be able to get there. I mean, the creep spread's a little weak on this side, to be fair. Hasn't broken these rocks yet. Serral, no creep in the middle either. Lazy Serral. Wow, hasn't even connected the top right. Noob. Just remember, guys, even Serral doesn't have unlimited actions, right? Still prioritizes things, focuses on what he thinks is most important, and usually is correct. Parasitic bombs on the Vikings. Blinding Cloud on the tank goes down. Snipes on the Ultras are good. The Banelings get hammered. Oh, that was a pretty good defense for Cure, but there's still more Ultras behind it. Jeez. Still loses a ton of units, but that was a great fight for Cure. He's now up 8,000 resources. The first excellent fight he's taken this game. And honestly, if he takes 4 more fights like that and gets to mine this entire base, there is a chance for him in this game. On the other hand, Serral, the other way of looking at it is Serral can take 3 more fights like that and then still win because he has so much more money. But at least Cure secures this base. And like I said, I would have liked Serral to take this base a little earlier with just how turtled up Cure was. But now Cure in a pretty good position to secure that base, getting ship weapons, more tanks, more libs. He's thinking about pushing to the top right. That would be a crazy move. He absolutely has to just stay spread around this area. Sensor towers and turrets are being built as well to back up this position. Cure has no bank. Meanwhile, Serral has 8,500 resources, but not that many minerals, funnily enough. So I guess you could argue Serral needs to refocus on gas a little bit here. Lings are trying to run in. Tanks getting some good shots off. Lings will find a few of these tanks. Ling run-bys are excellent at this stage because you'll often find these random tanks sieged around the map that don't have any bio support. If you don't have any Ghosts, Hellbats, Marines, you can't really deal with these Zerglings. And Zerglings are so cheap. Remember, they're 25 minerals each. Each siege tank is 150, 25, which is so much more expensive. Nice snipes, almost gets an Ultra. But the Ultra does escape, Siege Tank goes down, and Serral once again is, of course, always happy with these trades. He's saved the minerals back here. Now he's starting to mine off these 2 bases in the back because he prioritized mining the front bases. And we talk about this in theory so much. I've not just talked about it, I've ranted about it for 3.5 years. Ever since the Glittering Ashes map pool in 2021. And it's something where, like, Serral's the first player to so consistently perfect this against turtling Terrans. And it's just, it's a different level of pressure, because not only is he busting their planetaries early and popping out Nidus Worms to defend his base, Nidus Worm Ultra, that's amazing. But it's also just like there's this ticking time bomb where you're like, geez, he's mining the map. Geez, he's mining the map. Oh, no, oh, no, oh, no. You feel your heart kind of sink as a Terran. And the funny thing is as well, you can actually run out of gas. Because it's such a gas-heavy Terran army as he starts heading towards Lib range. Gas is almost out here. 600 gas there, 2,000 gas there. That one's out. And then he's going to have about 4,000 gas here. But you actually often run out of gas as Terran, which is sometimes an issue for Zerg, but not as much when they're so Zergling focused. Now, to be fair, Serral is really taking his time. This is always the weird thing. Like I said, any other Zerg is like, you got to overwhelm the Terran before they get here, man. He's got 8 orbitals. He's going to be more efficient than you. But Serral never throws caution to the wind where efficiency is concerned. He will be a bit more aggressive. He'll be a bit more defensive at different times, depending on what he thinks. But he'll never just be like, YOLO, I got to kill him now. I got to kill him now. Like, you'll see players do that, where they clearly make that decision that, like, if I don't win right now, it's all over. And they take some of the most desperate, awful fights you've ever seen. Serral will never do that. He'll just be very patient, and he has this effect where he waits for his opponents to make mistakes. Olivero on Oceanborn in Dallas comes to mind, but we'll talk more about that in a moment as the Ultra Corruptor comes in. Corruptors are so good for clearing libs. Corruptors are so good. You can also turn them into Broodlords, of course. Ling Bane running back and forth. I don't think this is a good fight for Serral. Good choice to not fight there. The fight on the bottom, though, he's denying about 1,000, 1,500 minerals. Oh, man, that base just does not die. Finally, it goes down. Took a while. But denying this base, you're also denying about 2,000 gas, remember. But you are losing control of 2,000 minerals and another 1,700 gas in the top right. So as Serral, like, for me, I would be like sending my whole army to pillage this direction, because I'd be like, if you can break the natural and get into the production, that's going to punish Kua. Because look, Kua's army is so spread to the top right. So suddenly this bottom left angle becomes like a very big opening. And you can see Serral wants to do that. And then after doing this, when he recenters his army to the bottom, then you go back to the top side. And I think that's what Serral's looking for. This is kind of the classic way of using your mobility and abusing the fact that Terran has so many siege units. Don't fight into their strong point. Don't fight into their siege up. Find where they're weak and engage there. Sure, there's about 50 different Sun Tzu sayings for this. Don't friggin' headbutt your opponent's strong point. You know? To put it in simpler terms, don't impale your eye socket on your opponent's spear. You know? Don't charge into the heavy pikes with your cavalry front on thinking, no one can stand before an armored knight. They'll break and run before a heavy cavalry. You realize they have friggin' 5 meter long pikes that they're like grinding into the ground. You know, they dug a ditch in front of them with spikes in it, right? And they're like, no. I will overwhelm him on the front. To be fair, Su kind of plays like a bit of a medieval knight when he plays ZVT. Su always identifies the Terran strong point, and he just locks horns with it. Like, if he saw this, he'd be like, I'm attacking through this choke point with my whole army. That's like, and the funny thing is, Su's specialty is he'll win with it. Su's absolutely a cocky medieval knight who's just like, I'm just going to charge and you peasants will run. And it works an unreasonable amount of the time. Serral, though, a bit more tactical, you see? He's now forced a big army to stay down there. So now attacking the top side is going to get more effective. And he's actually going to make the Broodlord Infestor swap, which I was not expecting. I thought he'd stay on the Ling Bane, but he's going to try and do this with Broods. And to be fair, there's only 3 Thors out and 12 Ghosts. There's so many siege tanks. 17 siege tanks. I mean, the weakness to master... I always say if they have more than 12 siege tanks, even 10, Broodlords are not a bad idea. You just got to be very technical with how you use them. Broodlords are one of the most technical units in the game. They already were very technical. Serral was the only person who realized how to use them back in 2018, but they've been nerfed since then. They're a little faster, but the Broodlings are so much worse. As well as the Broodlord's attack itself is much shorter range and less... It still does the same 20 damage a hit, or 26 with +3, which you'll have in a moment. But that's not a lot of damage. Broodlord shoots very slowly. So it's all about using the mobility of the Broodlord and making the siege tanks shoot themselves, using fungal on the ghost to try and stop them from sniping you. And this is something that I have to explain every cast. Sometimes people say, why do you have to explain that every cast? Like, you know, I go, well, number one, I want to be friendly for the audience. Number two, I have to deal with constant comments from people who clearly don't play the game, who would just repeat things like, ultras are bad, they always lose, you only make ultras if you want to lose the game, or Broodlords lose to ghosts, ghosts just auto-beat Broodlords. And I'm like, man, this dude's never played Ghosts against Broodlords. Because I'm gonna tell you something. If you're both bad players, you both A-move at each other. Usually the ghost player's gonna lose that if there's some banelings on the ground. You don't even need the fungal. Just gonna say that one. A lot of misconceptions in StarCraft because people forget that execution is what really matters, and you can usually beat just about anything with anything in StarCraft if you pay attention to the usage. Now, Q is getting money, guys. I feel like Serral has not shown enough decisiveness. I really said he's so patient normally. He looks for efficiency. Well, not only has he fallen to 10,000 efficiency after that messy fight over here, but I think he still could have broken him on the next wave. Like, I prefer that style. That's the style Reynor tends to play, that I'm going to overwhelm and break you with the momentum. That's what pretty much every other Zerg plays. I could be wrong, but I feel like Serral's giving Q a bit of a room back into this game. This might be a mistake for him. Oh, one Broodlord goes down. A few more snipes do land. Okay, so we're going to have to try and keep track of this. So far, 5 ghosts, 2 Thors, 17 Vikings have died, and 1 Broodlord has died. We're going to check in on those numbers periodically to see how good the micro is on both sides. Nice abducting the siege tanks to the low ground. Dude, he's so good with all the different spellcast usages. Serral just picking at him. Now, I'd like to see Serral try and steal these resources, but look, a Libina tank covering it. He can't. He's only mining minerals there, minerals there. He's got 2,500 gas there. He's also got 4,000 gas there. So Serral has unlimited gas in this game. And he probably has about 12,000 more minerals in total, combining his bank and what he's going to mine on the map. On the other hand, Kua is out of minerals in this top right. The gas, he's got 1,000 gas, he's got 2,000 gas, and he's got a few thousand more minerals as well. So it's still a close-ish game. I like that Kua's army supply is 170. That makes me pretty happy. How are they still alive? Guys, these Ravagers, that 12 kills, 6 kills, 4 kills and 5 kills. These guys have been transfused more times than anyone. If these are the guys in the movie who take their shirt off and everyone goes, "Ooh, look, he's got scars all over his body, man. That guy's seen some shiz." Like they're these Ravagers have 4 cauliflower ears each. Like, they're not the guy you want to pick a fight with in the bar. Those Ravagers have seen some stuff. They are like war-scarred, crazy dudes you do not want to pick a fight with. They have survived from the early game. There were 6 of them when they started. Only 2 have fallen. Yeah, only 2 died in the entire game. This is ridiculous Ravager efficiency from Serral. And like I said, I would have got rid of the Ravagers and the Queens. I would have gone down to like 3 Queens so I'm not wasting supply. I would have got rid of the Ravagers and the Roaches because they waste supply. And I would have said, let's just have as much Link Bane, you know, Ultra, Overwhelm kind of thing. But Serral's like, that's not his style. Oh, throw units away to have more fast units to jump on top and hope I get the Overwhelm? No! Serral is the man who Ravager biles 14 siege tanks in a row without losing a single Ravager due to transfuse usage. Parasitic Bomb goes down. Beautiful usage of the Parasitic Bomb. Q unsieges, pulls it back. Gonna have to have a few repairing SCVs here. Snipe goes down, Viper does fall. Viper just fell. Viper just fell. Here we go, Broodlord's coming in. Broodlord's coming in. Ghost coming forward. Ghost coming forward. Oh, one of the ghosts goes down. Nice focus fire. Hellback goes down as well. Siege tank friendly fire is a problem. You're better off relying on ranged libs than tanks against this because then the libs don't friendly fire. Problem, obviously, we are stuck on a heavy siege tank army. As the tank count gets a little lower, it's a little bit less problematic. No, Q, this is a scary choke point. You don't want to get crammed up against a wall. Yeah, you want to get into the open over here and get rid of the creep is huge. You can't be letting Serral have the vision advantage. Notice Serral sends his changelings forward because if he can see where your army is, he can come in. Oh, abduct those 2 libs, kill him. You know, that sort of thing. He can pick off your exposed units. Lings keep trying to filter in to try and find weakness. Not really finding any big weakness just yet. Gases in the top right is still there. I'd love to see Serral long distance mine those. He's still got 40 drones and they are running out of places to mine from. So it wouldn't be bad for him to start doing that. He's also mining all of the leftover minerals in his main and natural. A lot of players forget about those. Gets to 45 minutes, an hour into the game. They just never mine them. And you go, come on, man, you got to go mine the minerals. But Serral, his attention to detail really is there right now. Broodlord's coming forward. Look, oh, the Thors could be scary, though. At the moment those Thors and snipes start to land, the Broodlords are starting to take snipes. Big fungal on the Ghost, though. Parasitic Bomb on the libs. The libs are getting wrecked. Okay, we got to check in on that unit's lost tab. So, guys, he lost 2 more Broodlords, and he's lost a few Vipers. No more Thors died. No more Vikings died. 6 more Ghosts died. A lot of Hellbats died and a few siege tanks. It's mostly minerals, I think, that Q is losing. You'll notice the gap, 10,000 gap. Serral has closed it by 4,000. So Serral is actually getting really good value out of a mixture of Queen, Infestor, Viper, Broodlord. The Transfusers, especially, as well as the Broodlord range and the way he moves in, moves out, and just picks at his opponent is fantastic. 920 Zerglings, guys. I think he's gonna hit over 1,000 Zerglings lost this game at some point. That's exciting. Because numbers. Uh-oh. Q doesn't see him. Where's the scans? You've got 8 orbitals. The scan finally went down, but it was a little slow. A little slow there. He unsieges, then he resieges. He's got to focus the Infestor's Fungal on the Ghosts on the right side. The Thors are starting to shred the Broodlords, but he's already losing all of his Ghosts. His right flank crumbles. Infestor's going for the Neural Parasite. The Thors turn around and start shooting their comrades. The Broodlords and the Corruptors coming in. The Viper's going to pull back there. The Corruptor Broodlord trying to pull away. The Thors, the tanks, the Ghosts, and the Hellbats are going to overwhelm the Zerg army. But at what cost? Zerg is back now down to an 11,000 resource loss deficit, right? That's pretty bad. That's a 6,000, 7,000 resource swing from before that fight. Is it, though? Because Serral has the money to remax, Cure does not. And the start of that fight being a little slow and sloppy for Cure was a big problem. He needed the start of the fight to be perfect. But that is what Serral does. And what's Serral building? 10 Ultras, 6 Infestors, 4,000 Zerglings and Banelings. And you know what he's going to do? He's going to kill your Sensor Tower with drones. Why? Because that's what I call asserting dominance right there. That is how you show you mean business. When you take your 4-year-old and you send it to go and bite your mortal enemy on the friggin' shin, you go, get him, Dennis. You send him and his little brothers to go friggin' kick the guy in the shins, and then your opponent like just impales them on his spear. That's how you show dominance. Broodlord's coming on the right side. Ghost Snipes are going to start to land on those Broodlords. The Corruptor, Ultra Link, Bane, YOLO. Serral's YOLOing. He probably has the numbers to make it work. A few Blinding Clouds would have been amazing in here, but man, just so many Ultras. The Ghost trying to start a step back on the right. The Thors and the tanks getting overwhelmed. The Corruptors were killing just about everything. The Overseer's getting on there. And Serral just too far ahead for too long. Cure hangs on for a long time. But Serral will seal the deal for Basilisk and get the 4-1 victory. All right, guys, now it's for pride. Now it's for points. Now it's for tiebreak situations and placement within the league. Because remember, depending on how you do in the regular season, you get seeded deeper in the bracket. If you are the highest seed, you basically start in the finals. If you guys ace the regular season, you start so deep. So every single match does matter. They've lost this match, but let's see if Cure can get a point on the board. And I tell you, he did pretty good to get back in that game. There is something, though, as a Terran, when you're that passive, and the Zerg just sits there like Serral doesn't, and like, nah, I'm going to wait for you to make a mistake. And you're like, what? Every other Zerg just throws their army at me, and all I have to do is defend. I don't get any practice against a Zerg that just sits there, slowly chipping at me with spellcasters. Like, how am I meant to practice against this? And I've been explaining to people that Maru is not a bad StarCraft player. He's obviously one of the greatest of all time. But people lately have been like, is he washed up? Does he not care anymore? Why does he keep losing to Serral so bad? And I'm like, who's he going to practice with? Dark? Dark doesn't play like Serral. Dark's clutch. Dark's awesome with spellcasters, but the man plays nothing like Serral. Rogue, not good enough yet. Back from the military. Solar, very good defensive player, but a very different style to Serral. Doesn't have the variety of openings. Solar kind of does the same 2 or 3 builds every game in the matchup. Is very good at like defending, Ling Bane, getting out Lurker Viper, and then fighting back from there. And Maru kind of just has his number, right? He kind of catches Solar out with a lot of surprise builds. So I'm always like, as a Terran in Korea or in general, just how do you practice against Serral? Like how do you get good against a guy who plays like nobody else? Because his openings are peculiar. He's just gone gas pool on Ghost Rift. Why? Why is he going gas pool? I don't know. Is he going to Ling Flood the command center and kill the first 7 SCVs on the natural? Because that's what I'm thinking he might do. I think he might be expecting a command center first and have planned this opening. Because yes, he's seen the command center first with his Overlord, but he'd already committed to gas pool at that point. So I think Serral has basically studied his opponent and is ready for it. And this is the thing. People always look at top players in StarCraft. And historically, if you're the best, everyone studies you and you rock up to tournaments and you try to outplay them. That's what most of the best StarCraft players have done in the history of StarCraft. Serral, like Rogue and a few other guys, seems to have studied every single opponent he plays in every single match. And you can't do this if you're Clem, if you're Max Packs, if you're Dark, if you're Hero, you're one of these guys who just grinds 1 billion online tournaments like Beyond as well. You know, those guys have like a range of builds and they try to randomize it a bit so they're not too predictable. Oh, Ling's just got spotted moving out though. Ling's just got spotted moving out. Cure, hide the SCVs on the high ground, bro. Point being, it's very hard to predict Serral. He's got so many tricky moves. This is one of them. He knows what's happening. Run! 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 Get to the high ground! Get to the chopper! Quickly! Oh my god, don't lift it, don't lift it, don't lift it, don't you dare lift it, raise the depot, bro. Okay, he did raise the depot, it was just hidden by the factory. If he lifted that and let the Lings in, this would have been lights out. He's only got 1 Reaper, guys. Where is it? Where is that Reaper? It's gonna make it home. The Lings weren't able to trap it, that's good. Oh, I mean, it's good, it's decent damage for Serral, but it's a big commitment. And this is the best reaction you could hope for as Cure. This is the best reaction you could hope for. It's just don't lose any SCVs. I think it was 1 SCV went down on the low ground, cancel the depot, rebuilds on the high ground, and as you swap over the factory onto the reactor, you get to the low ground, start mining. Very good handling. Really well done. Has anyone found evidence yet that Serral uses performance-enhancing drugs? I'm more convinced than ever these days that he definitely doesn't. I remember back in the day, there was a time when I was like, there was part of me in the back of my head where I was like, is he using Ritalin? Like some of this stuff that the FPS players used to get busted for doing to make them like just quicker and faster and more focused, like with the tiny reaction speed. And I look at it these days and I'm like, well, Serral doesn't really win off his reaction speed. He wins off his strategy these days. Like he's still got really good hand-eye coordination, speed, control. But I was always struck by the fact that guys like Reynor and Clem just click faster than him and are kind of a bit better at the raw mechanical game. But I just think he's better at taking away his opponent's strengths. Like, I really feel like Serral could really play a lot of different RTSs because he has such a good strategic understanding of how to adapt to different situations, take away his opponent's strengths, work towards his own strengths, work towards his opponent's weaknesses. And he does this so very effectively. Worth it? Yeah, good move for Cure. Zergling's coming in again. Hellions are like, get out of here, dude. Yeah, this is a good start. I really like this start. A few roaches get built. They are just defensive roaches, but look at that. He gets 2 overlords with the Viking. If he goes out, he might catch this overlord as well, so I'd love him to keep hunting with that Viking. Hellions are out. He's got a Banshee for safety. 3 racks coming up. Double engineering bay is going to go down at the same time behind the natural in a moment. Doesn't quite have the money just yet. Hellions still rotating around. Lair's on the way nice and early for Serral. Did Serral see the cloak? I think he must have with the Overlord. Oh, I think he could have got the Overlord maybe. Yeah, he saw it with the Overlord. Nice. That's why he's gone fast Overseer. Hellions perfectly positioned. Serral's playing a real counterattack style. This is like an anti-Clem build that he's doing here. Just like constant Lings trying to catch you off. But Q is one of the most defensively responsible players. I've played Q a few times in the last year and a half in weekly tournaments. And I was struck by how safe he was with his Hellions. Because normally when you play a top Terran as a Zerg like me, who's like a really average GM, you basically like, what can I surprise him with? Okay, I'll try to do a Ling Flood, trap his Hellions, surround them, and then do like a Bane Bust to kill him or something. You know, you're just going for like a surprise all in. You're trying to catch them when they're not looking. And it just never works against Cure. It has like a 0% chance because he's always got Hellions at home in a perfect position. He's always super, super covered against any cheeky moves that a Zerg can do. Now, luckily for Serral, he is a god of the macro game. And even after this wonky start, guys, it's 620. He's at 73 drones. I'm always struck by how Serral can open so aggressively and then transition so seamlessly. He's going to be above 80 workers. It's just past 630. At like 635 in this game, 6 more drones come out. He's at 80 workers. What the hell? And you go from going, oh, I should be ahead economically to no. You got to realize, man, Serral's like a bloody rubber band. You know, he just springs back in the opposite direction. You know, he goes aggressive. You think, oh, he's in my face. I got to watch out. Next thing you know, there's a hive started. Pre-7 minutes. 1-1's on the way. He's going to do a Lurker play. He's going for a Hydra Den, guys. He's going to play Roach Lurker Viper. Really good style. Really, really good style. Players playing for seeding right now, playing for the points. Remember, no matter what, this is over for this particular match. But every single map score matters. And that's the thing, is it's not really about who wins each match, even though that is a nice story. It's more and more about the actual scores and how they tally up in the World Team League. You got to check out that format to see how it goes. Every pair of players play 2 maps no matter what. It's the second map between Serral and Cure. They played a 40-minute barn burner in game 1, which Serral did bring out on top. Cure had some moments, especially after Cure's Marauder timing failed in that first game. I thought that was very impressive that he played such a good late game, because I thought he was just going to get swamped. When his 5th base got denied the first time, I was like, well, you're just going to drown. But, I mean, that's the way Serral wins. I mean, people used to criticize him in 2018 because they'd be like, dude, finish the game. When you're ahead, can you finish the game? And Serral would be like, not until I have 14 Broodlords, 3 Vipers, 2 Infestors. Then I'll wait for him to make a mistake. And you're like, Serral, just go win. You're ahead, bro. You know, like, there were times where we were like, Serral's really boring to watch. He's not been boring to watch for a while. But that last game was kind of a return to the more passive Serral. The I'm going to chill a little bit and just hang out and wait for you to make a mistake. +2 Carapace does come in. So he's going to go 2-2. If you want, you can skip 2-2 and just shove with 1-1 Lurker Viper. It's not a bad play, but it's very committed. Bit of a gamble. I don't think he realizes he didn't start +2 range. Otherwise, he probably would have gone for that by now. 2 Vipers gathering energy. 5th base in the bottom. Banshees haven't really found any damage just yet. Units lost tab. Still very much in Cure's favor, though. He's playing a very clean game. He's got a similar work account. The problem I see for him is he basically needs to start pumping those tanks way faster, because the Lurkers are just going to be such an issue. And he also needs Vikings, which seems weird. But right now, if he doesn't build Vikings, the Vipers are going to cause him way too much trouble. Lurkers, Roaches coming forward. He's pushing. He sees now what he's up against. So now it dawns on him, and he's like, whoa! He did kill the hatchery in the bottom. Nice move for Cure. Queens in the Overseer will eventually kill that if he's not watching, but he is watching. Cure's not a bad multitasking player. This is something like I know I tell this story of like he's not watching and Banelings get him all the time, but I actually think against Roach Hydra Lurker, this is like a much slower pace of Zerg vs Terran that suits him. But Serral, just because his style suits his opponent doesn't mean he ain't going to be good there, as he abducts the first 2 tanks. The Banshees coming around, being very good. Guys, do we have any Americans in the chat from the South? Any people who elongate their vowels? Can you guys back me up on this? All these friggin' Northeast US states people who are constantly making fun of me for elongating my vowels. Can you guys just tell them off for me? They're always like, oh, he says cure. Oh. Guys, get out of here. The Americans from the South have my back. They do weird stuff with vowels as well. South Americans have got my back. They speak Spanish. ¿Por qué no los dos? You know, we're having a good time. I'll do what I want with my vowels. That's how we add exclamation as Australians. You can stop making fun of me for it. Lovely Lurker drop, by the way. This is huge. Lovely Lurker drop. Lovely Lurker drop. Oh, he gets 2 tanks. Big mistake for Cure. He does kill the Lurker drop on the left side, but those 2 tanks going in range is a disaster. His upgrades... Okay, the upgrades will barely finish, and at least the Vikings do push it away, but losing those 2 tanks is such an issue. He needs to move another tank forward. Serral has taken a forward base. Serral's favorite thing to do on this map, because this map doesn't have many bases, is to take his opponent's expansions and mine them out. What a bastard. I love it. It's such a dirty play, but it makes sense. He's like, well, if I got to play another 45-minute game, I need to steal some resources, so I better get started earlier rather than later, man. And not a bad way to do it. Oh, oh, oh! Nice Lurker shots. Cure, get out of there. Those Lurkers still being D-bags right now, man. Here we go. Oh, snipes. He snipes a few of them. Tank's finally going to start clearing that. But abducts on the front. Serral is getting the pickoffs. Parasitic Bomb does go down. One of the Vipers dies to the Vikings. The Vikings finally coming in and doing something to help out. But this is still really scary for Cure. He's losing so much mining time. And look at the units lost tab. Even if he kills all these Lurkers, which he will eventually, it's taking so much time. So much mining time. I mean, to be fair, the snipes are coming in as well. He does have this base mostly mining down there. It's just an awkward spot to be in. And Serral uses this position to just chip away at him. The Roaches coming in. I think he'd be probably happy to trade the Roaches out. He's now trying to swap into the melee Carapace upgrades. Probably wants to go Hydra, Lingbane now with the Vipers. Bit more of a well-rounded comp, but he's already got a full mining base on the front with a Spore Crawler at it. Dude, Serral. He did this versus Oliveira, where he took the bottom right corner base when Oliveira was on the right side in Dallas. And I was like, what the hell? Like, I'd never seen someone take it so early. But it's his specialty on this map, because a lot of the Terrans know if they turtle it out and it's split map, it's like, I get 6 bases, you get 6 bases. That's really bad for Zerg. So Serral is always like, no. I take a forward position with aggression on this map. I steal your resources, and I still end up in that position where other Zergs have urgency on this map. They need to kill the Terran. Not me. Not me. I just need to mine their base out. You need to move out and punish me. And like, Kua realizes this is happening, man. He does. He's got to come out. Thanks for the love, guys. Appreciate the subs. People backing me up. Get rid of these silly Northeast US. There's probably guys from Boston making fun of my accent. I mean, come on. If you're in glass houses, don't throw stones, guys. Come on. You guys speak just as funny as I do. Tank's getting abducted right now. Watch out for the Vikings. It's from Boston. That's that's not even a Boston accent. I'll butcher it even more if you guys keep making fun of me, though. Spores coming forward. We've got 2 Vipers, 11 Lurkers. Still 3 Dropper Lords available. These Lurkers and are going to break these rocks. Okay. He scans the army. 15 Ghosts, 5 tanks. He needs a few more tanks. EMP. Cure. Oh, doesn't get the EMPs down. Getting units abducted. You got to be really on point with tracking this army. Roach Hydra Lurker is not that scary if you've got enough tank Ghost in front of it and you get rid of their spellcasters. It's like an awkward moment where Serral's kind of stuck on the NA comp, where he's still on Roach Hydra, but he's also trying to swap to Ling Bane, and the Roach is going to kind of block the Banelings. He doesn't really have enough Zerglings to close the distance. He's going to take this bottom left base, I think. Either that or that drone just accidentally got rallied there. Oh, big mistake. 3 Ghosts run in and get killed. Lurker harass on the left side, making Kua panic a little bit, freaking out a little bit. Vikings up there as well. I didn't shift click the SCVs as much as he could have. Double snipe will take out that Lurker. Nice move. Hydra pushes it to the corner. Do we have a Spire yet? Still no Spire. Serral has a lot of money. He should absolutely be starting Spire upgrades. There's no reason not to. Let's get a single Spire, pumping those out. Oh, Snipey Snipe's going to be coming in. Vikings clearing the Overseer to get rid of the Vision. Lings will run forward. 1 Lurker goes down. Ghost pulling back. Oh, careful. A crazy push there for Serral. Throws away quite a few units. And if we just do a nice scanny scan, you can snipe a few of those units. EMP goes down on the Vipers. All right, we've got a 4th base in the bottom left as well. I think this is a good position now for Kua to slow down. The only problem is this base getting fully mined out, but I think arguably you can be down a full base. Serral gets plus a full base, 2 base differential. Technically, you can win from there. You can technically win from there. The problem is he's already not trading well, right? And he needs to trade exceptionally well if he's going to be... Because remember, if Serral steals a base, that's a 2 base advantage for Serral. It's bigger than you think. You think 1 base advantage? It's like, no, because that's a base that Q is meant to mine from. A 2 base advantage is kind of massive. These Roaches don't want to be on this map anymore, guys. These are the old Vikings saying, please take me out for one last raid. I want to go to Valhalla, man. I don't want to die in my bed. Because we need to clear up that supply for faster, better, more efficient units. Scans coming in, taking out a few of those creep tumors. Burrows coming in, +3 melee as well. Libs coming out. We've got Tech Labs added. Do we have concussive? No concussive. It's going to be a problem if the Marauder count grows, which it usually does at some point. Then again, sometimes you just skip Marauders at this stage. You just go straight Ghost, right? You just play Marine Ghost. In which case, having, no concussive, not the most important thing. Serral hasn't transferred to that bottom left base yet. Sloppy, guys. Uncharacteristically sloppy transfer. These other bases are safe, bro. You know you want to. But getting that Hydraling Bane army, it's much more mobile. Very hard for Kua to move out at all and get any presence. And his bio count's very low. 11 Ghosts, 15 Marines. So he doesn't have much to actually guard his tanks. He's going to try and push. He's like, no? Oh, no, he's just repositioning defensively. Another Lurker comes in, and his tank's in range. Dude, if Serral just clicks on the tank, it loses that fight. Oh, no. Oh, no. He's going to try and repair to save the day. Okay, the repair does just save it. Whew. 10 SCVs going down, though. These are all good trades for Serral. He's going for it. Serral's going for it. Blinding Clouds on the tanks on the front line. Oh, he's out in no man's land. He went too deep. Didn't even step on the creep, but Serral, he feels a tremor in the ground, and he says, ooh, my hair's standing on end. A Terran somewhere has stepped into my territory. I feel something good coming my way. He smiles, he darts off creep, jumps on top, blinding clouds on the tanks, and that was not the setup Kua was looking for. Needed to be a bit more spread. He's also got Burrowed Infestors there as well. It needs tanks on the right, tanks on the left. Needs to be perfectly spread out. He's trying to deny this base, but now Serral's also mining that bottom left with 8 workers. 21 workers have gone down in the recent history. This base getting busted was massive. Now, Kua's on such a low economy. He's like, I desperately need to deny this. I'm only at 2,000 resources and units lost. I need to be at 15,000 for the state of this game. Serral, though, remaxing, ready. Hydraling Bane Viper Masterclass. Let's go. showing us how to play every single stage of the game perfectly, as he is known to. Mass, Lingbane Hydra, overwhelming. The libs go down, the tanks go down, the medevac save a few units. Some of the units on the right side do A-OK. That Infestor almost dies to splash damage. Funnily enough, it's just hanging out underground. Pervy boy happy to have barely survived that fight. Guys in chat insulting me in French now? What the hell is happening? Come here, a petite bastide? A crisse? What are you guys saying? Bad French speakers. Bad. Anyways, Hydras and Vipers coming forward. Serral's got this, man. He's got this, right? Does he? Yeah. Even with the Infestor going down, 34 workers. I mean, it's going to take you forever just to mine these bases out. And Serral's Remax? I mean, the only problem right now is lava. He's also going a little heavy on the Hydras. He's going to 13 Hydras, but medevac snipes are big. It feels like in these fights, because Q just sent a bunch of his units down to the bottom left, and whilst he denies a bit of mining, that gives Serral a chance to fight in the middle. And if he can just get an overwhelming number of Zerglings with this Hydra Bane, get some Lings on these tanks, he's going to break him. Once those tanks are gone, Q has nothing left for him. Especially if you sneak a Burrowed Infestor in, of which he does have one pervy boy back there. I'm Quebecois, not a frog. You guys don't eat frogs in Quebec? That's what your poutine tastes like. Frog legs. Tastes pooey. No, it tasted really good, actually. I love poutine. Shout out to my my Quebec weirdos in the chat. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Hope we get another StarCraft event over there one day. And you do eat frogs. Then why'd you guys say you're not frogs? Idiots. 10 more lurkers coming in. They're not ready yet. Serral wants to wait. He's going to bust the bottom side. He's going to run in from the south and try to bust the planetary potential. It's not even a planetary, it's an orbital on that leftmost base. He's also dropping trousers as Serral to drop creep on the bottom left side. The base can't land because of the creep spread in the lava. Lurkers are coming in from the south. The Lingbane running forward. He's trying to save this hatchery. Lurkers coming up that left side. There are ghosts nearby, but not enough energy to kill that many lurkers. Oh my god. Oh, the first hit kills like 3 ghosts. Wow. Wow. Oh, my utter devastation. Now the Lingbane Viper goes and he says, hey, look over here. By the way, I'm hitting you on the front. Serral, a masterclass of utter domination. Is Serral rusty from being in the military? Is he not that good anymore? I don't know. I think there's an argument he's 3% worse than peak Serral right now. 3%. That's all you're getting, fellow StarCraft competitors. You're like, maybe now's our chance. We can win some tournaments. Serral's like, I will give you a 3% skill deficit. I am as washed as I will ever be, and I'm still absolutely crushing everybody because my name's Serral, and I'm a freak. GG, well played, Basilisk. Hats off to Reynor, especially for that bust on Clem in game 1. Love that series. GG, well played to Serral, though, for once again just showing us some exceptional late game. I gotta say, Kua played well. Kua struggles with every top Zerg. You don't really expect him to take down Serral. He played a pretty decent series, but Serral just a bit too good today. GG, well played. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time. Goodbye and good night.